Hi everyone. I might just allow you guys to speak. Give me 1 second. Can you all hear me? If you want to just raise your hand. Perfect. Thank you. Excellent. Well, thank you so much, guys, for today. My name is Janky, and I'm the Member Support Manager here at Connective. And my role is to educate brokers like yourselves, onboard them, train them, and assist them throughout their digital marketing hub journey. Now, in today's session, what we'll go through is how to send a campaign through using Digital Marketing Hub, but also show you how you can implement content that you can send out to your clients, especially if you're a premium user where you get the branded consumer booklets, or if you're wanting to use a PDF document or any kind of paperwork that you might want to send out where usually you would do an attachment. You can send it out using the specific feature which is within the Marketing Hub. So now what we'll do is I'm just going to share my screen. If you do have any questions though, there is a chat option or Q&A option that you'll be able to use. Please do feel free to use that, ask questions. I want to make sure it's interactive enough so that everyone is comfortable post this session, as well as I'll send a copy of the recording to each of you so that you can refer back to it. Excellent. I'll just share my screen. Give me 1 second. Perfect. So now with creating campaigns, the first thing is making sure you've got a database that you want to send it to. If you want to send it to your whole database, it's purely simple. But if you want to send it to a specific group of audience, using the branded consumer booklets, for example, like the home buyer essentials, which is really good tool for you to use to first home buyers. So what we want to do is go into your Mercury into the CRM section, which I've just done here before. And then on the left panel here, you've got people category there. And then from here, I would pick a contact, which I've just selected myself as a test contact. There's 3 mandatory things, especially against a contact, that you must do for you to market to them, which is just under the marketing, you've got add to DMH button, which this will allow the contact to sync from Mercury Nexus into Marketing Hub. Then you've got segmenting. So this is where it all plays a really important part. If you want to send the document out to your whole database, or let's say I wanted to send it out to the first home buyer, I've created myself a tag called first home buyer and assigned it to the contact. And then also the relationship manager is extremely important, especially if you've got multiple brokers in the business. So that when it's different broker name there, the communication will go out from that specific broker. So it's a little bit more personalized. From here, if you're unsure how you create these categories, go back into your Mercury Nexus, go under the admin section. And then on the left panel, you'll have CRM settings. And then on the top options, you'll have people categories, where you just simply add, create your label or category, and then go into your CRM and assign it to your contacts. Once you've done that, go back into your Mercury and go under the Marketing Hub tile, which is your Digital Marketing Hub. From here, you'll come up to your dashboard, which I've got here, which is one of our test accounts. From here, first thing you want to do is, what are you sending to your clients? For me, in today's session, I want to send out the Home Buyer Essentials Guide. So I would go on the left panel, firstly go into campaigns, and then you should have content or content manager of some sort. So treat this as your cloud. So like Dropbox, for example, and then having a unique URL. So because you're unable to do attachments in the bulk email sent, this is the best way to do it to still continue to send comms out to your clients. So under content, on the top right-hand corner, you've got add a file. So I've added a file. I've selected the home buyer's journey and then uploaded it. And then I've got the 3 booklets that I've uploaded here. So if I just click into it, you'll be able to see the booklet that you've uploaded. So it's a 32-page booklet, which you're going to go through. From here, now you want to send this out. So you've got a little gear icon on the top right of the booklet, and then get the URL. So click on that, which will give you your link. Copy it. Then let's create the template, what we want to send out. So from here, I'd go back into my campaign templates. You will then choose the template. So for example, I want to use, for instance, let's have a look what would be a good one. Property Goals 2025. So from here, I would edit the template. And then you would need to create a button. So button is simply a contact will then click into that button and it will straight away take them to that document. So it's not really attaching the document, but giving them the option to click into it to get that resource. So from here, I would need to add a button. So I'll just add a button here. I'll just name it. So let's call it your buyer's guide. And then there's a link here on the right-hand side called site. I would copy that URL there. And then what it will do is it will create a button. And then when your client clicks onto that button, it will take you to that document that we've just uploaded. So it's sitting in your cloud in your marketing hub, but they can use that as a resource to go into. So once I'm happy with the template, if it's your first time using Digital Marketing Hub, if you want to change the image, just double click on it. And then on the right side, you'll have a change image icon, like the magic wand, and upload a new image from your computer. If you want to change the wording of some sort, just double click on the text block and change the wording. The great thing is we have already set up your branding for you. So as you can see, the formulas, which is your logo up the top, signature at the bottom, and brand footer and disclaimer. So all you need to make sure is those formulas are there for the branding to be pulled. Once you're happy with it, you can just save and exit and the content is ready for you to send. But if you're wanting to change the button regarding colors or anything like that, so it's more aligned with your branding, just click into that button again, and on the right side, you'll be able to change the color, the shape, the background, having more padding around it if you'd like. But once you're happy, save and exit on the top right. And then it will take you back to your templates page. Now let's send the campaign out. So campaigns on the top left-hand side panel. And then on the top right, create a campaign. Now, if you have used Digital Marketing Hub since 2018, it would have slightly changed to what you're used to, but I'll go through how to send a campaign, which is similar but different layout. So name your campaign and then use standard, which will be automatically selected, and then start from scratch or use the email designer template. Then I would go next on the top right, and this is your setup page. So from here, make sure you enter your subject line. Anything with asterisk is a mandatory field. So from here, let's say get more info. And then if you want to personalize it, you can do so by clicking on this little lightning icon. And these are some of the Mercury fields you can enter in your subject line. So there's a lot of information there, but the most common one is first name. Then I would save, and it automatically adds first name. So if it goes out to me, say Janky, get more info. Oh yeah, journey. Pre-header text is not mandatory, but if you'd like to add that, that's the snippet that you would see if you on your mobile, you would have received emails. You can have a little snippet there. From who are we sending it from? So this is extremely important if you have multiple brokers in the business. So if I read this formula should automatically be populated. If not, click on this little lightning icon and the select broker preferred full name. And then default name will be someone who is, oh, we would have already set the default name for you, but if you've amended it and if you would change it, then you can do so there. Now, the way to read this is the broker preferred full name is the communication will go out from the broker associated to that contact first. If there is no broker, then the default relationship manager will kick in. Same goes for the email. If this formula is there, please ensure you choose broker email. Otherwise, it will be from the default. Once you do that, if this is ticked, you can remove it. Keeping in mind, if you want to track it, you can only track one email address or generic inbox that reply to addresses. You won't be able to track multiple email addresses. So if you're wanting to track, then it needs to be single. Otherwise, just untick it and just completely remove that. Then who are we sending it to? From here on the drop down, you'll have a Mercury. So this is when you tick add to DMH and Mercury, all your contacts will appear as part of a Mercury list. So click on that. Now, if I'm wanting to send out that guide to everyone in my Mercury, just move on. Once you see the number, move on to the next page. Otherwise, if it's specific to first-home buyers or the categories that you've assigned, you would need to break this number down. So to do that, click here where it says all active subscribers off selected list. Send using custom conditions, and then you'll put in your criteria of who you want to send it to. So for me, I only want to send it to first home buyer tag. So I'll choose a tag, exists, and then from the drop down, anything you have assigned to your contacts in Mercury and they've synced across, they will all appear here. So for me, it will be first home buyer and then save. So you will see that 255 will drop down to 7. So there's 7 contacts in my database that has the first home buyer tag against it. From here, if you want to schedule the campaign, you can schedule it to a specific date and time. And on the top as well, when you set schedule, instead of giving you that send now option, it will say finish instead. Tracking and automations, this is something where it's open and read tracking will automatically track. Link tracking, so if you've got a specific link. So the great thing is what we've just done. When a client clicks on that document, you'll be able to track how many people actually clicked into the document that you've sent them. Then once you've done that, your address will auto-populate. If they don't, we've already set it up for you. So from the drop down, just select your address. From here, we choose our template. What are we sending? So click on Create with Email Designer. From here, select the template that you're wanting to send. So for me, I want to send the template that we just add that button before. So that was property goals. So just select that. From here, once you've selected your template, you'll still give you one more opportunity to edit it. So while the page loads, if you want to make some minor changes again, you can still do so. So once you're happy with it, go on the top right and go next, and it will take you back to the template setup page. The campaign setup page. So from here, you want to make sure that you are final with everything, in the sense that you've checked everything, you're happy with the subject line from the template that you've selected, who are we sending it to, all the tracking that you've turned on potentially, or your schedule is all correct. We want to make sure that we check that everything is working correctly. So I would go test and preview on the top right-hand corner. Send yourself a test and make sure that you're happy with the email before you send it out to everyone. And then you can also do desktop preview, where those formulas will come to life. So you've got your logo up the top, which will just load shortly. And then you'll have your buyer's guide, which we mentioned, your signature with social media links, brand footer, and disclaimer. So as you can see, this is now a option for the client to click into, and it will take you to the landing page, to the document for them to look into or download, whichever way you would like. Once you're happy with it, you can press send now, or it will say finish if you've scheduled the campaign. But that's how you would attach document to an email, and by linking the document, especially when you're doing bulk sends. But that's pretty straightforward in regards to that. Has anyone got any questions? I know it's a lot of information, so I will definitely send the recording of this call. If you can, there should be a Q&A or chat box. Feel free to add your questions in there. Happy to go through that. No questions? Excellent. Okay. So now, once you've sent the campaign, you want to make sure that you track what's getting sent out to your clients and making sure it's interactive enough. So I'm just going to save and exit on the top right for now. And then I would go into reporting, which is on the left panel in the blue side, called reports, which is a little pie chart. From here, your campaign will be displayed here. So for example, in this instance, I'll just click on the RBA for now, and then you'll be able to monitor daily open trend or by hourly. And then in the summary section, you'll be able to see opens of who's opened it, who hasn't. You also have clicks. So especially when I mentioned that you can see who's clicked into the document that you've attached, and all the URLs will be there. And then you can dive into, for example, let's have a look at this media release. You'll be able to see who's clicked into it, and then on the right side, how many times they've gone into it as well. And then if I go back, you'll also have, if clients have unsubscribed, and also bounces as well. So it's a great way to clean up the database, especially with the bounces, because there's two types of bounces. You'll have your hard bounce, which is likely for if you've got clients with work email address and they no longer work there, or that email address doesn't exist, potentially because of .com.au or .com. You also have server failures, or if the email has been rejected, you'll be able to see reasons as to why. But ideally, that's how you track of, content that you're sending is interactive with your clients, making sure that any documents or anything that you send out is interactive enough to capture their thoughts. And then based on that, you can then, when you can see that they've clicked on those links, you can actually just pick up the phone and call them off. I see that you've seen my email, anything you want to discuss, and get that conversation going and start building that rapport with your clients. We did have brokers before who used eMag as another great way. So with the premium subscribers, you'll have access to the eMag, the monthly newsletter. The broker went in and had a look at who's clicking on what. He saw one of the first home buyer articles, a client who's just a lead in his database. He picked up the call and he's like, oh yeah, I've been thinking about it. Don't know what I want to do yet. Started that conversation and he actually got an opportunity out of it. So it's really important when sending comms out, even if we're sending it out on your behalf, like the RBA EMAG, have a look through the reporting and see what's interactive for you. But that's me for today. Any questions at all?
Janki, you have two questions in the Q&A.
Yes. Oh, yes. No, I saw. Yeah, so so for example, great question, Tim. So you've got NAB clients. So think of it this way. There's multiple ways to segment the database. You don't actually have to categorize them all the time. If it is based on a specific Mercury field, like in the example, a lender. So you can actually use lender equals to NAB and segment the data that way. So let me bring the draft up again. So when you're clicking on using custom conditions during segmenting, you can just select lender is NAB, and then it will filter based on what your criteria is. But great question, Tim. Don't need to use categories all the time unless one of the Mercury field is not integrated into DMH. Categories is the best way to do it. Or if there could be multiple opportunities and you just want to make it simple, then just categorize it and send it out using the category instead of checking each field. And Swarnama, yes, you definitely will. This webinar is recorded, so we will send you an email by COB today with the recording. And of course, we're always here to help. We are currently updating how to send campaign section in Wiki as well. So once that's there, published, keep an eye out so something that you can refer back to as well. And if there's any other scenarios that I haven't covered in today's session, please feel free to flick us an email at marketinghub@Connective. Otherwise, all of you already should have my email address, as a lot of you I have already spoken to before. And I'm always here to help as well. Excellent. No other questions at all? Perfect. Thanks everyone so much for your time this afternoon. Please keep an eye out for my emails. Otherwise, if there is any questions that I haven't covered today, please reach out to me as well. Oh, sorry, Brenton, there's one question there. No, you won't need to add manually the tag. You'll just need to filter by the lender is NAB. And you'll be able to grab that. Excellent. Thanks, everyone. Sorry, Brenton, I'll have a quick look at your database and I might just give you a quick call back post the session.